Hello. My name is Jessica Crunkleton. I am a licensed marriage and family therapist, licensed mental health counselor, certified alcohol and drug abuse counselor, sand trade therapist. I'm a certified EMDR therapist, EMDR coach, EMDR basic trainer and training. I am also an EMDR client. Recently, I decided to create this series entitled EMDR 101 to help the public and also clinicians to better understand EMDR and provide them with just some positive information about EMDR, just some good information and things of that nature. So this particular video is going to be for clinicians specifically who are seeking consultation. So how do you prepare for your consultation call? How do you have a successful consultation call? I personally, I work for EMDR Consulting. I am an EMDR coach and again, a trainer in training. I do consultation calls 6 days a week. I do EMDR basic training consultation calls. I also do consultation calls with clinicians who are seeking certification. In addition, I do consultation calls with clinicians who have completed basic training for EMDR. They're not quite ready to move on to certification, but they need support around their cases. So I also do consultation calls with them. I have done over 30 EMDR basic trainings. I have worked with 8 EMDR basic trainers. So a lot of consultation calls, a lot of connections. I've worked with, been in connection and supported well over 800 clinicians on their EMDR basic training journey. And so there's just some things that I've learned to help clinicians have a successful EMDR consultation call. So first things first, I would say sign up for your consultation calls. That's one of the big issues is clinicians will take the basic training and then they don't do their consultation calls, which means they don't get their certificate of completion. So we don't want that to happen. So first things first, please do your consultation calls. That's really important. Also, if you sign up for a consultation calls, do your consultation calls. Don't sign up for consultation calls and then don't attend. That's also something you don't want because I know for EMDR consulting, we can bill $25 for that consultation call that you miss. And I do bill for it. Now, I will give you 72 hours. So as long as you cancel within 72 hours before that consultation call, no harm, no foul. After that, unless it's like a real emergency, you are going to be responsible for that because the slot that you take, right, that's a slot that someone else could have had. All right. And so a lot of my consultation calls fill up. So I want make sure that we, just be respectful of each other's time and that sort of thing. So if you do sign up for a consultation call, please know that you are responsible for attending. And if you cannot, you need to go on Sign Up Genius and delete that consultation so that someone else can have that spot. But you need to do it for my call specifically 72 hours, at least 72 hours in advance. Okay. Other clinicians have other rules. Some it's a week, some it's 24 hours. Everybody's a little different. So you need to check to see what that specific consultant's what their idea is as far as responsibility, as far as doing the consultation calls. The next thing would be, as we talk about preparing for your consultation call, I would share that you could have just done your first part. Let's say you're doing a part 2, but you just finished your first part. So, or you could have done the 5-day and you've done the whole thing and now you're just starting. Either way is fine. So you don't have to have clients that you're actively seeing in order to do a consultation call. That's a myth. You can come in and say, hey, I've got some people I'm going to see next week or in the future. I've not met with anybody yet, but I'm just curious how to roll this thing out. Like, what's the spiel? Elevator speech. Help me with that. I'm not sure how to do that. Or how do I present this to my current client? Because we've been doing talk therapy. How do I get them, excited about doing EMDR? How do I introduce this to them? We can help you with that. I'll help you with that. Okay. No question is what's the word? There's no judgment. No question is stupid or anything like that. In fact, the way I do my calls, we all go around, introduce ourselves. We'll share a little bit about where you're located at, what type of licensure you have, what setting you work in, a little bit about the population you serve. And then I may ask, why did you pick me? I just want to know a little bit about what you're hoping to get out of the call. And also I will ask when you did your basic training and what hour consultation this is. and where you did it. So if you know that you did it virtually, it was virtual, it was Evanston 2022, and this is your 6th hour. That would be important to know. Do you have to know those things? No, but it's, it's something that we would like to know in terms of billing and things like that. Okay. The consultation calls are already paid for. It's a part of your training that has already been taken care of as a part of the all-inclusive rate that you paid in order to do your basic training. So you don't have to worry about that. But if you miss a consultation, and you would be held responsible for that $25 fee that you miss, or if it's a 2-hour consultation, that's $50. Okay. So important things to keep in mind. The next thing to keep in mind as you come to the consultation call, let's say, again, this is your first couple of times, you're still kind of getting into it. I think it would be a good idea for you to come with some questions. So sometimes people show up for their calls and they're like, I don't know what to say. I'm just here. Totally fine to do that. If you feel kind of overwhelmed, I was kind of like that in the beginning, that's totally fine. Now, I think you might get a bit more out of it if you still just bring a couple questions, like, I'm nervous that I'm going to mess somebody's brain up. That was my big thing. Somebody's brain was going to fall out. It was going to be really bad. I was going to lose my life. I had all these fears. So coming to the consultation call can help alleviate some of those fears, can help you put them out there. Other people say, well, I was worried about that too. And then the consultant can help walk through, help alleviate some of that, help normalize some of those things, and help you work through some of that so that those won't be barriers to your success. Okay. The other thing would be is if you do have cases that you want to present, it's going to be really important that you utilize the treatment treatment session note. Bring this with you. This is going to be really important. My uncle used to be, well, he still is a mechanic, and I've got newer cars over the years, but I remember it came to a point where he couldn't fix them anymore, but because they were just newer, the engines and things. But he would say, I can't necessarily fix this problem, but I could probably tell you what it is. So he would plug his little machine into my car, and it would give him codes and tell him, it was alternator, radiator, whatever was wrong with my car. And then I could go get it fixed. This is kind of the same thing. So when you bring this with you, it will have on there, I would like for you to have on there, what type of EMDR did you do? Big R, little r, prime, what type of EMDR you did, what the target incident was. That's going to help us, because number one reason that the SUDS will not go down is the target incident is too big or too vague. I'm going to know that right off the bat once you share that information. Also, making sure you have the negative belief and the positive belief. The other reason the SUD doesn't go down is the negative positive belief are not congruent. That's an issue that I've seen quite often. And that's something that we can work through as far as, okay, how do this client is wanting to do something that's not on the hierarchy, which is, again, what I would encourage you to utilize. Anybody that works with me, you already know how important this hierarchy is. This is voice creation. I think it's really important to utilize the hierarchy to know, are we talking about survival, control, responsibility, worthiness, competence, or vulnerability? So this is what I will be utilizing during the consultation calls as I'm listening to what you're telling me, negative, positive belief, making sure they're matched. Do they have to be perfectly matched? No, but I do want to make sure, hopefully you are utilizing this as your basis and making sure that whatever you're utilizing, that it does fit, that it does make sense. Again, with the negative belief is a way to remember it is external locus of control, it's childlike, and it's more situational. The positive belief or adaptive belief is internal locus of control. It's global and it's more adult-like. And so another way to remember this is EMDR loves a rat. This is something I heard from Paula Harris, awesome trainer. So EMDR loves a rat. Your adaptive belief needs to be realistic, adaptive, and true. And those are things I'm going to be listening for, looking for as you share about your clients and the negative positive beliefs that you're using. So again, it's not about, this is not punitive or anything like that. It's a learning experience. We've all been there. We've all had to go through it. I've had to go through it. Everybody else who has made it to a higher level, we've all had to go through it. So it's really just about an opportunity for you to learn, for you to feel more confident, more competent in your skills. And I often will hear people at the end of the call say, you know what, I feel better now. I was so nervous about this, but now I feel ready to roll this out. I'm ready to get out there and try this with my clients. And that is really my hope, is that you do leave the calls feeling more confident and competent to do the work with your clients, because this is a really important skill. Again, there are a lot of people trained in EMDR, but they don't finish their calls. They may not be doing it correctly. And so this is really a time for us to really make some corrections, for you to have a chance to rehear information. If you're like, I don't remember when they talked about big R, what was that about? Or what are blocking beliefs or anything like that? The other thing, for me, I am known as a resource queen. So if you ask about, let's say, addiction or whatever the topic is, if I have resources on those subjects, I will put those in chat. So the other thing I would recommend, if you do calls with me specifically, I do all my calls via Zoom. I will put those in chat. So again, if you ask for something, if there's a resource on that topic, I'm going to link it below. So I would recommend that you use like a laptop or something like that. So all you need to do is just pick the file, download it, save it. I would say go ahead and just create a file. A lot of the people know that participants that have done calls with me, they just create a file and you just save everything. You can go back and look at it later. Okay. So that would be a recommendation. If you are using a phone or let's say an iPad or something like that, those things are totally fine. If you can let me know when you get on the call, I can email you the resources after the call. That way you'll have access to them, okay? Because sometimes if you contact me later, I'm not going to remember what was on that call, because I do a lot of calls, all right? The other thing would be, like I said, if it's your first call or you've been doing a lot of calls, but you still don't know, I would like for you to still come to the call. Say, hey, I'm really struggling here. I would really like to use this, but I'm afraid to use it with my clients. I have this fear, whatever. We'll help you through that. Let's figure out what's going on. Okay. What's the barrier? What's preventing you from using this? Because just like our clients have blocking beliefs, we also can have blocking beliefs. And again, I have another video I would recommend that you also watch in this series. And one of the things I talk about is the barriers that clinicians face. And one of the big ones for new therapists is just believing that EMDR can work. You've been trained in a certain way to have a certain mindset. A lot of times it's talk therapy based. This is not talk therapy. This is the brain. It's different. And so this is a big shift. I had to go through it. Many people, as you transition into EMDR, go through this process. So bring that to the call if you're having an issue with that, or if there's something you don't understand. Bring it to the call. I may not have an answer. I'm going to try my best. If I don't know, I'll find out. I've got a whole team of people that I can reach out to, and we'll try to get your questions answered. All right. So again, I look forward to seeing you on the calls. And again, my hope is that after you do the calls, the goal is for you to feel more confident and competent in your EMDR practice. See ya. Bye-bye.